Yep, one of the best movies of the year. Project Hail Mary from Andy Weir. The guy who wrote also The Martian. What makes this movie work is Ryan Gosling. He really proves here what a lead out. He got the manuscript for this and he took it to MGM and didn't know this who was working there. Amy Pascal, who used to work at Sony, and brought it to her. And the manuscript is just it's not the script itself, it's just a rough outline of what the movie, you know, the story is going to be. And Drew Goddard, who wrote the Martian, wrote the script here. And really, they did gloss over some things because if they put it in, like a whole scene in the book, and I remember reading it because I love the book, I love the movie, is that when he wakes up, he doesn't know he doesn't know anything about himself, which is in the movie. But when he wakes up, he has a tube down his throat. He has a tube in his penis, not a joke, and basically because he's been not awake this whole time. As the movie progresses, you find out through, you know, sections. They stop and they give you backstory that he's a science teacher, and basically what he finds out that they're looking for him because he's a molecular biologist, and they need his help dealing with what's killing our sun and all these others. And they find that there's one star that isn't being killed off. And then we find out what they don't really go into what allophage this bacteria is. And there's this line, they give it the Petrea line. It goes from the sun to Venus, and until we get to the part where he's, apparently these things are eating the sun and going to Venus, but we don't know why. And then eventually through experimentation, he finds out, oh shit, these things are using they're feeding on the sun so they can go to Venus to reproduce. So that's what's killing our sun. And he still doesn't know. Like I said, understand this. This movie is so brilliant for what they did. They glossed over some things, because if you try putting that in the movie, it's going to take forever to get the story. And Ryan Gosling, and here's the thing, he, like I said, as the movie progresses, we find out that he figures out the allophage is breeding by eating the sun. So they have to find a way to find out why this one star is able to survive while all the others are being killed off. So, and backstory, we meet Eve. I didn't know Sandra Holler. She is German. She was born in East Germany in the Soviet Union. And you get this whole thing that he, and then eventually they sort of, he builds a friendship with Officer Carl, who helps him get all the things so he can do an experiment to figure out, what's going on. You have a great cast here. Ken Leung, who's been in the first Saw film and other movies. He's a good actor. Everybody here does a fantastic job. And then there's a point in the movie where something tragic happens and they need him because they don't have the scientists they need for it because of something went wrong. And essentially he ends up meeting Rocky, who's this scientist alien that looks like a rock, and he gives it the nickname because it looks like a rock. Well, here's the thing. This is the guy who does James Ortiz. Okay, there are two people who provide their voice for the movie, and one is Meryl Streep, and she did record lines, and the other actor. Let me bring this over here so I can. It probably will show it, but I wanted to show this because this is part of the cast. And they do say Meryl Streep, where is it? Meryl Streep provides the rejected alternate, and it's Ray Porter. These two are the, And they go with the actor who plays Rocky, who is the, Let me go back here. Yeah, they go with this actor. Oh God, did I? Shit, I think I may have screwed up. Hold on. Yeah, they go with. I think it's James Ortiz. He provides the voice of Rocky, and it builds a friendship between the two, and they figure out what's going on, and how to save their sons. And then the movie does end where the book ended, but like I said, it would have been much longer if they added certain things like explain what the allophage is, or other, that they gloss over. They do gloss over a bit of the book, but overall you get a fantastic movie, and Ryan Gosling, once again, like Barbie, proves what a hell of an actor he is. And the fact that they had Rocky as a physical and, remote controlled character, and that James Ortiz was on set delivering the lines so that Ryan didn't have to imagine working with Rocky. He could talk to him back and forth, is amazing. I mean, the movie, it's mainly just Ryan Gosling and James Ortiz and Rocky, who is a mechanical, thing that he gets to work with. And the backstory, you get flashbacks. You finally find out why he ended up there. Yeah, I will leave that to you to see. This movie is magnificent. It is gorgeous to look at. Ryan Gosling proves what a hell of an actor he is. If nobody thought he could do it, he carries this movie. It's literally one of the best movies of the year, and Andy Weir did a great job with the book. And here's the sad thing: he did an interview with Critical Drinker, and then he said some things about how he wanted to do a Star Trek show, and they told him so. He said, and he made comments about the man in charge of the Starfleet, Academy show, who's been running the Star Trek stuff for Paramount. And he said he's a nice guy, but he said, yeah, the Starfleet Academy is kind of shit. But he also liked the Strange Worlds, or whatever it's called. But then he apologized for the comments he made, which he wasn't wrong what he said. The guy might be a nice guy, but he's kind of shit at running a showrunner. But, Andy Weir's mistake was apologizing. He should have stuck by what he said. And Sandra Hüller, she's actually great. She's like, okay, she's German for one thing. And she gives this sort of like, she knows what she's doing is terrible, but at the same time, she has no choice but to be, tell him we need you, and essentially, yeah. But it's such a magnificent movie. This movie is so perfect in every way that I'm hoping it succeeds, because it's really, 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 really fantastic. Yeah, and there's a lot there is stuff from the book. You can get the book, get it, read it. It's worth it. Ryan Gosling is amazing. He is. I hope he gets recognized for the Oscar. This should be up for Best Picture, along with Godzilla minus Zero, that is coming out in November, which I'm gonna go and see in IMAX. That movie I will see in IMAX. But yeah, this movie's fantastic. I hope it stays in theaters longer and it makes a lot of money, even though it's going up against the Mario movie and everything. Yeah. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.